Okay, in this video I am going to show how remote controls work. So you can control things that are far away from you while you're not on board, such as boats. So you can control a crane from another boat, what have you, whatever. On this tutorial I'm going to be building a little RC car, but with the stuff you will learn in this, you should be able to do pretty much whatever you want with it, because it's all pretty basic systems that transfer over really simply. So let's get into it. Okay, so to start, let's just make a little car. So let's just grab some wheels. We'll make them really small. This is going to be a little car. We'll even go a little smaller like that. Okay, now let's just use electric motors. So we'll grab a couple of pipes. And let's go like this. I'll leave a little bit of space, one between each, just so I can put a gearbox so we don't spin out and go crazy quick. Let's put a motor, two of them. Okay, perfect. Now, what do I want? Let's just cover this up a little. Make it look a little car-y. Okay. So there is, we can go forwards and backwards. Perfect. Let's just save this as a little RC cart. Okay, so we have that. Let us go like this. Let's add a camera. We'll just use a little 1x1. Like that. And let's bring this back. So this will be the first little part. So, what you're going to be doing is you have a remote control. So let's just go, let's grab one actually. So, remote control. So as you can see, they're very simple to use. You basically will spawn one in. It's the same as equipment. You'll left click on the mouse to activate it, and then you can't move. And that'll basically activate all of your controls. And you press R to go through the channels. You only have 8 channels, so keep that in mind. So whatever channel you set your RC car to, it can't be above 8, or else the remote can't reach it. So that is a good little thing to add. And so whenever you're in you have your remote control, you need to somehow get the signals that you're sending in this car. So how do we do that? Let's grab a big old antenna, or a radio. But so each one has a different range. So the little one is 100 meters. It goes up 1 kilometer, 4 kilometers, 20 kilometers. As you can see, they get pretty big. So we're not going to be driving crazy far, so let's just use the medium. We'll probably not be getting a kilometer away. The further you get away, though, the worse the connection will get. And after you get a kilometer away, it won't work. And then you're going to be stuck, and you're going to have to go get your car. So that's never fun. So now, here, we'll put a remote on here. I have one in my inventory, but just if you're following along, you can keep it the same or whatever you want to do. Let us save it up. Okay, so now we have a way to get the signals. We will be sending those signals, and here are the stuff on the radio. So we have transmit mode, frequency, and frequency strength, so or signal strength. So that'll be just how strong your signal is. So whenever you start to get far away, you can kind of stop before you say, hey, I know this can only go 1 kilometer away. You'll stop and turn around. Transmit mode is if we are sending a signal. So if this little car has a signal that we want to send back, like the speed, and say we're going 16 kilometers, we will put that in here and then send it across. And the last one is frequency. This one is very important. So these are the frequency for the channels. So as I mentioned before, the remote control can only go up to channel 8. So that will be limited to channel 1 to 8. So what we'll do is we will grab a keypad. You can use a constant on to, whatever you want. And we will simply go like that. Connect it, and that's all we need. For the frequency-wise, we need a lot more still. But now what we can do is we can set this to channel 3. And then to control this car, we will go into the radio. I'll show you. So we'll go up to the car. We will say, hey, I want this car to be controlled on channel 3. Now we will go through our radio. We will press R. Look at it on the toolbar. You can see it says CH channel 1. So that's what that means. We can press 2 and go up. We can go up to 8, and then it brings us back. So what do we send that to? We set it to 3. So we will go to channel 3, and then we will press left click on the mouse, and now it's activated. Now, if we have any of our controls set up, we'll be able to drive. So that's really nice, and you can't move while you're in it. So I'm pressing all my keys to move, it's not working, and you press left click again, and then you're done. You can change kit channel, you can do it right again, just R. So really simple, so let's bring this back. Okay, now we have our remote, we have a way to receive the signals, we need a way to kind of control the car. So what we're going to do is I'm going to bring a microcontroller a little farther away so I don't ruin everything. Grab a blank, just like that. Let's start off with getting it to move forwards and backwards. So let's just get a 2x2. Let's just call it RC car. Now, composite is a very important thing to know for this. Composite is basically, we can go here, press composite, is basically taking signals and compressing it. So I have an on-off signal, or okay, let's use the actual case here. So I have motors, I have 2 motors. I need to take those, and then I need to read them. So composite, I can read through channels. So if my remote control is on channel 3 and my car is on channel 3, it will be sending those composite signals through channel 3. So then I can pick it up with this radio, and then I can read them because each one has a channel. So I will show the channels up here now. So for the remote outputs, so this is 1. So let's just get this straight. So your first 4, so your first 4 outputs, 1, 2, and 3, 4, they both share a number output and an on-off output. So whenever we go into the micro, this will make a bit more sense, but this is a good little thing to remember. So basically, we can use on-offs up to 6. So you can press your keypads 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that'll show you, it'll activate something. So you have 6 possible outputs for on-offs you can do, and then those share, so the first 4 channels share on a number too. So if I press W and I want to go forwards, I'll set that W on channel 2, and that'll share the same as an on-off, but they won't collide. So that's a good little thing to remember. So let's get back into here. So what I'm going to do is, first off, we need composite. So let's go here, press composite. This is an input, and this will be from the radio. So let's update this. So the radio will be collecting those signal waves in the air, right? And it will be taking this and data receive. So if whenever it picks up a signal, like hey, we're pressing 1, it's gonna, and we're on the same channel, it's gonna send this data, it's gonna read it, and it's gonna send it to this microcontroller where we can unwrap it and turn them into on-off number outputs. So that's really good. We can do the exact same with data send if we want to do the opposite. So if we want to take a signal from here and send it to something else, we can do that. But that's what we need for now. So now we can read our signal, and we can say, hey, we have an on-off or like a W or S. So that's really great. So let's start off with W and S. So we can go forwards and backwards. So that will be a number output because we're outputting the signal to the motors. So this will be, we'll call this drive. So this will be to our motors to make us go forwards or backwards. So let's go into here. Now, let's go and look up composite. And we need the read. So we are reading the number, right? And for this case, we're reading a number. So that is good. So we'll go here. And then we'll look back to this chart. So here's the chart. So we want W and S. So that is on channel 2. So we'll come back here. We will say we want to read on channel 2. Now what it's going to do is it's going to say, hey, I'm collecting this data. It is from the remote control, it is sending on channel 2. We're reading that channel 2 and what number it's set to. Because this is a number, if we have the the read on off, it will be reading an on off signal. Another thing to note is all of the toggle buttons, so if you press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, any of those, they will be toggle buttons, not push buttons. So you'll have to come in here and go toggle to push, basically, and just, yeah. Whatever it is, pulse or whatever. But that's another thing to note. So if you have a button that's sticky, you have to go and change that, which is no big deal at all, but it's a good little thing to remember. So that is literally it. So we're taking the signal, we're reading it, unwrapping it, and now we have an output that we can take to our throttle. So that's really nice. So let's move this over. So I am just going to do the move like that. Let's take away, let's not do that. Let's take away those and let's move it again. We don't want to do copy and paste because that won't take our nodes with it. So if we just do the move tool, look at that. Our node's still connected. So let's spawn it in and see if this works. I have a bunch of remotes on me right now. So let's set this channel 2. So now we will press R. We're on channel 2 and left. And look at that. We can drive. We can go forwards, backwards. It's very fast right now. It's going to be very hard to control, but we are controlling it. And as long as it stays within a kilometer, we are good. Now, as soon as I press left click on the mouse, it's not in my control at all. Okay, so let's bring it back. I want to limit how fast it can go. So I could put gearboxes on it, or I can go like this. We can clamp it. This is much easier if I'm doing electric. So we'll bring this all in a bit. And let's clamp this from minimum being -2 and 0.2. So it can't go crazy fast. So let's see how that is. Let's save it up. Okay, spawn it in, run over. And we don't even have to run over because we're this close. So I guess we have to set the channel still. So that's always nice if you can connect it to a constant. So that's much reasonable speed. If I got some steering on there, it'll make it easier. Not sure if I have a negative connected there or not. Most likely not. I won't be able to grab it from there, will I? No, it's still running away. Back to the workbench with you. Okay. Let me check that number real quick. -2. So we want -0.2. There we go. That is what we want. Now, that is all good. Let's add some steering. So we go back to our little number chart thing, whatever you want to call this. A and D is output 1. So we'll come back here. We know that it will be receiving channel 1. So we will grab a composite read again. Let's go number. And this will be channel 1. So now we can take it from here. We'll go back to design and we will add steering. Just like that. Same thing, number output. These will be all outputs because that's literally all we're doing. But let's add another clamp. And let's go -0.5 and 0.5. Just so we have a little control over our steering and it's not nuts. Now, all we have to do, control this. Sorry, not control. We have to bring this to steering. And I most definitely have to invert this. So I always do this. So, channel 2. Yeah. Okay, so let's get that on the right way. So let's turn this. Once again, I'm going to bring this, and then we're going to go like that. Is that the right way? I didn't see before. Positive. No, we want to go like, what am I doing here? So it's facing left. Oh, I took a block with it. That's okay. Let's paste that back. We'll put our little block back so it still looks like a perfect little car. And let's try this again. Okay, channel 2. And look at that. Now, look at that. And we can go backwards. We can steer. Okay. Now, let us go like this. So, what we're going to do now is we are going to connect a monitor. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a pivot just to get us off the same. And we're just going to put a block off it like that. And boom. Now, we're our own little build off to the side, and we don't have to connect to that one and all of that. So let's just build a little platform. Let's bring it down. Like that. Is it longer? Yeah. And we'll press move. We'll bring it down. Keep it around the same height. And let's bring all of it down just like that. Okay. Now let us go like this. Let's add just a little part there, and let's go with a monitor. We'll go with the 2x1, or sorry, the 2x3. And let's grab a little seat, if I can spell. And I don't need a seat, sorry. I'm thinking about it the other way. So, now, what we're going to do is I want to be able to see what's out of this little monitor. So, what we're going to do is we are going to go look up video. And we're going to do XMIT, so transmit, so we can throw that on the back of there. It's big and chunky, so obviously you don't need to do this. And then we need a receive. So let's add a constant on to the monitor, just so that we don't have to press a button and turn it on. So let's see how far these can go. So let's look up video again. So this can go, oh my god, so yeah, 10,000 meters. And yeah, so that's just receiving. So that is quite good. Now, same thing. We need it to have the same channel. So if we want two things to connect and be able to talk to each other, they need to be set to the same channel, which makes sense, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a constant, and we're going to set it to the frequency send for the transmit for the monitor. So, yeah, so we'll set this to channel 5, and we will set this one to channel 5. So these are separate vehicles, right? So you can't just connect logic between the two. So these are completely different. These are going to be the same if you drive up to a random boat and connect to its signals, whatever you want. So we're going to connect the same thing to here. We have the same channel, right? So that's all good. Now, this is a lot simpler. We're literally going to say we're either on the same channel and it's not got any video hooked up to it, and if it's on the same channel and it's got video hooked up to it, you're going to be able to see it coming out from here onto a monitor. So really simple, but it works. So let's save it up. And let's spawn it in. And let's see if it all works. Look at that. We'll hop up. Oh. Try not to get directly in the way. So look at that. We can see our little car now. That's fun. So let's set this to channel 2 so that we can drive it. And we're in control. And look at that. We can see our little car driving around. Let's turn around and look at ourselves. Where are we? There we are. Look at that. Hi, me. So we can go in reverse. And we can drive around wherever we want. So that's really fun. We can also look at it normally. So that is simply how you can do monitors and get it through like a video. So that is really simple and it's fun. It's pretty slow. I probably should have sped the car up a bit, but you know, we can drive around and have fun. We can go around the corner now and actually be able to see what's happening. Look at that. Yeah, so that can go on its own little adventure, so let's leave that now. So we will bring this back. So that is really simply for controlling going forwards, left, right, all of that. So back to the chart, you can see you can still use channel 3. Exact same, you go into the micro, add another read number, and change it to channel 3, and then add an output node. And same with channel 4 for up and down. So that's really simple. So I'll go over on-off toggles now, so that you can add on-offs to your build, or to be triggered, just if you want. You can also use channel 31 to be able to use the spacebar as a button, and 32, if you connect anything to 32, as soon as you press left on the mouse, it'll turn on. Same as sitting in a seat. It's the exact same. So what we're going to do is we are going to add a light. And I'm just going to do one for this because it is going to be the exact same for literally everything else. So it's nice and simple. So we'll add this off the back. And we'll make this bright yellow. Perfect. Now, we can use whatever button we want, up to 6. So we can use 1 to 6. So let's add one more node here. This is going to be our backlight. And this will be an on-off output, because we're outputting it to the light, right? So now what we're going to do, same thing here, is we're going to grab a composite read on-off. Just like that. Now we can go here. Oh, sorry. Not a number, a on-off. Perfect. Now that is literally it. Now this light is going to be a toggle. So if we press 1, it'll turn this light on. Now, remember, these can share. So this is fine to be on channel 1 as long as it's a number, and this is fine to be on channel 1 as long as it's an on-off. They will not collide if they're different. Obviously, you can't have multiple 1 channels. If you have multiple 1s, it'll all activate all of it at the same time. So just another thing to note. It's okay for this because they're separate nodes, so one's a number, one's an on-off. So that is nice. So we'll leave this as channel 1. As I said before, you can go up to channel 6 and 32 and 31 if you want. So we'll connect that. Now let's go like this. Let's hop up on our little pedestal here. Oh, let's add the channel 2. There we go. And let's go on to our remote control. We're on channel 2. I pressed left, now we're in control. And now look at this, press 1, and there we go. Our light turns on and off. As I said before, it's a toggle, so we can drive around. Still, it all operates the same. We can turn our little light on. But yeah, that is pretty much it. So these are super useful, and they're really easy to get, and once you get composite and all of that, it just opens up a whole new world of stuff you can do. Oh, look at that, my driving skills. But yeah, I really hope this was helpful. I can do more on this if you would like. I think it covered most of the stuff you'll need to do. So I really do hope this helped. And yeah, thanks for watching.